Hello YouTube, RV Far here. Today's video is a review of the Pelican Storm Case iM2600 for the DJI Phantom 4. It's early on a Saturday morning. The kids are in the living room with the dogs, making a lot of noise. The garage is a mess, it's raining outside. So I'm stuck here in the bedroom with making this video. You can see my wife over there sleeping. We got to be kind of quiet so we don't wake her up. So the Pelican Storm Case iM2600 with the cutout for the DJI Phantom 4. So I went with the Pelican case for two reasons. Number one, I know it's super solid. The hinges are great. The clasps are great. It's very robust. I've had them before and they last a long time. They're almost bulletproof. Although to be fully bulletproof, they need to be filled full of Kevlar. The other reason I went with the Pelican case is, if you look at the airline specifications, for carry-on luggage, it's 22 inches by 14 inches by 9 inches, and the Pelican iM2600 outside dimensions are 21.2 by 16 by 8.3. It's a little bit wider than the airline specifications for carry-on, but I think that you could get on the airplane with it because it's smaller in other dimensions. So the carry-on ability of the case and the Pelican brand name were attractants to me. But let me show you the one problem I have with this particular case. So the main purpose of this case is to protect the Phantom 4 drone. And the problem is, you see here that these little shelves in here, these little shelves right here, are too low for the Phantom 4. So when you put the Phantom 4 in here, it's not actually touching these little shelves in here, so all the force is on the landing gear and the motors on top. So I wish there was something that was fitting more carefully right here on these little shelves. So what I've done is I've cut little pieces of foam. You can put the foam in here like this. To build up these shelves. So when the Phantom 4 fits in there, it has some stability, taking some pressure off of the landing gear. So with that little addition, the case works great, but I wish that for 225 bucks, whatever the thing cost me on Amazon, that it would come properly cut out for the Phantom 4. They build this case as fitting the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 4. Oh, wait a second. My wife is stirring a little bit. We got to be a little bit more quiet. Hope she's still sleeping, not just faking it. We'll see at the end of the video. In any case, so the Phantom 4 fits in there with the caveat that you need to build up your little pieces of foam there for some stability. So there's the case with the Pelican case with the Phantom 4 in it. I have 3 batteries for the Phantom 4. Each one is labeled 1, 2, and 3, so I can keep track of their use. And these fit nicely in these little slots like this. I don't like to put a battery in the Phantom 4 itself. I think the battery weight could cause excess stress on the Phantom 4 if the case itself were subjected to impact. The extra mass of the battery in the Phantom itself would cause more stress to be transferred to the landing gear and perhaps the motors if there would be an impact. Plus, I don't like having a battery in the Phantom 4 with the gimbal protector attached. If the Phantom 4 were to be turned on accidentally, the gimbal goes through a self-check, and with the gimbal guard on, it could cause some stress onto the system. So for me, as I mentioned in the previous video, I put a orange piece of tape on the gimbal guard. So when the Phantom 4 comes out of the case, the gimbal guard comes off before the battery goes on. I think that gimbal guard flag is very important. So the second thing that goes in the case after the batteries is the controller. There's a nice cutout spot for the controller right here. It fits nice and snugly. That's about perfect. The Phantom 4 comes with cables for downloading video. These cables, while not necessary for each flight, go in this little case up there. The next thing that goes in the case after the batteries is alcohol pads. I've talked about this in a previous video. Where I fly in Oregon by rivers and up in the mountains, there's plenty of insects, and the insects hit the propellers and get splattered all over the propellers and the aircraft. I prefer not to have this mess on my drone, so I use a little alcohol pad that dries quickly and gets rid of the insect debris. This is nothing like one of the bird strikes on Sully's airplane over the Hudson River, but I think cleaning off insect strikes is important. The next thing that goes in the case are two neutral density filters. I got these on the advice of YouTube videos I've seen, and apparently they can help smooth out the video and make it look more cinematic. I personally have never used these. I like the extra sharp, edgy video I get just using the camera straight, even in bright sunlight. It's kind of my personality. The next thing in the case is a charger. This goes right over here along the side. Gets folded up like that quite nicely. The charger has a electrical cord. This goes over here, that spot. The remote control has a little ring on it where you can put a lanyard to hold it around your neck so it doesn't fall on the ground. I just use some parachute cord and I fold that up and place it right here in that charger cord. I have an extra disc in case I run out of room on my disc. And then the last thing, one of the last things I put in are the propellers. I have 4 propellers in a plastic bag, and then 2 more that go in the cloth bag that comes with the Phantom 4. I think 2 spare propellers is important, 1 left and 1 right. If I break more than 2 propellers in a flight, I'm done flying for the day. Whatever's going on is a problem. So I just bring 2 propellers spares. I don't think you need to bring more than that. If you break more than 2 propellers, you need to stop flying that day and figure out a new safety system for you. And they go right in here. Now this is okay. The charger's a little bit heavy, and it could bump up against propellers if this case were subject to impact. But I'm careful with it. The most important thing that I put in this case that didn't come with the Phantom 4 is an extra cable for charging. It's a simple, a lightning cable for Apple products, but it connects your iPhone or iPad to the charger. And I can't tell how many times I've forgotten this to bring one from home, so I just bought one for 20 bucks at Walmart. This goes right in the case right there, so I'm never without one of those. Of course, the last thing you need to operate the Phantom 4 is a iPhone or an iPad or an Android device or some sort of device to operate the DJI Go app. And there is a space here for iPads right along here. But I use my iPhone because my iPhone has cellular service and my iPad does not. And I enjoy looking at the real-time Google Earth view, and I like to have that for my flights. And I figure the iPhone is with me at all times anyway. so I don't put it in the case. I put it right in my pocket. So that's my review, my short review of the Pelican Storm case, iM2600. It's a very durable case. You can see the clips, quite solid, easy to release. The thing is waterproof. I've not tested this particular case, but I've had previous storm cases that have actually taken rafting on the Colorado River down through some class 3 and 4 rapids. I just lash the case to the raft, and it's been great. No worries. I've put expensive camera gear in there without any problems. So I feel confident in my drone protection. The only problem I've had, as I mentioned, is just these little foam pads I had to add myself after the case. It didn't quite fit perfectly, but it was an easy fix. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this case. It was about 225 bucks or so on Amazon. Well, let's go see if Jill is still sleeping. Wait a second, that's not my wife. It's a stuffed toy. It's a Chewbacca backpack. It's like Clint Eastwood in Escape from Alcatraz.